Pete and Steve, welcome to The Noise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How do you feel when you look back at old videos like What Do I Get?
Well, in those days, they weren't called videos, they're called promos. And they were just used for sales conventions and things like that. They were never intended for public consumption.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, really? So it was really mainly done for the record company people. So that was your first promo video, was it? Where was it done?
It was done at the ITN News Studios in London. But in the morning, I think, before they did the evening news.
Well, it's been a while since then. Things have changed. You've changed, I take it, since then. How's the music lasted the distance, your songs?
Well, seemingly very well. I mean, it seems to have been kept alive in people's hearts, even when we've not been around to do it. So it's lasted really good like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's got like a timeless quality about it, which, you know, we don't, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, we can tell now, you know, it's like Shakespeare. It's just a complete body of work there. No, but it's just a different production now, you know. But it doesn't seem like it's locked in 1976 or anything like that. It's still as good now as it was then.
Well, given that you wrote those songs when you were, oh, forgive the phrase, spotty teenagers or young lads, you've grown up a bit since then. How do you feel about?
Well, I mean, it's been good that the songs are so open-ended that you can read into it what you want, so they still have that same amount of meaning that you can put into them.
Pete, I know that for a long time you weren't particularly open to the idea of the Buzzcocks getting back together again. What made you change your mind?
It was just really things were happening around which made it seem possible. But people were releasing records of Buzzcocks, and there was a lot of interest, and also we started getting offers to put a tour together. So as soon as we got an offer for an American tour, we phoned around everyone, and everyone said yes, because everybody else had, you know, felt the thing in the air or whatever it was. And so we got back together, and it's been great.
Yeah, because it resulted in the space of a couple of weeks actually getting back. Everybody was sort of giving up on the idea, thinking we're all off on our separate things. I was playing in another group, and John Marr, the drummer, was building dragster cars. But as soon as everybody got the call, there was just at that moment in time where, you know, everyone said, yes, they're into it. They're not doing too much on that particular day or whatever, and away we went, you know.
Right.
You know, amazed us, really, you know.
And what was Steve Garvey doing at this time?
Well, he'd been living over in New York for about 7 years. He'd been playing in bands for a while, but then he got a bit disillusioned with you know, the music business over there. So he learned to trade. He's a carpenter now. So if you ever need any shelves or doors hanging, then he can come along and give us a quote.
Oh, good, good. We need a bit of work done around here, actually. Well, Pete, we know that not long after the end of the Buzzcocks, your solo career was going very well with songs like Homo Sapien, Telephone Operator. What happened after that? It's been a while since...
Well, let's see. I put out an album in 1986, which was on Phonogram, but for some reason or other, it didn't really reach all corners of the world. So then in 87, I had a band called Zip. Was it 88? No, 87 and 88. And we did a single, and we did a tour with Erasure. And then last year I did a recording of Homo Sapien 2. And then this thing started materialising.
I must ask you about the other Buzzcock, Howard Devoto.
He's just finished a new Luxure album, which should be out by Easter, I think it's due out. And at the moment he's rushing around to different record companies trying to get our previous collaborations together, Spiral Scratch, and an album of demos which appeared as a bootleg we're trying to get released again, called Time's Up. And he's trying to clinch a deal on those.
Right.
You see, the whole band changed when he left, you know, because I was on bass and Pete played guitar, and Pete was doing most of the vocals when Howard left him. You know, Pete switched over and I did to guitar, so, you know, it's a lot different than when he was in the band, really. So
but I mean, at the moment we're leaving enough spare members behind that you know, there's enough ex-Buzzcocks who can get together and form another Buzzcocks. You know.
The Australian version.
Now, I believe the two of you have been doing some writing since you've come back together.
Well, I mean, not so that anybody else would notice.
Mainly postcards, isn't it? You can write on anything.
So there are plans for some new Buzzcocks material at some stage?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, there's a few record companies coming over with offers. They want us to do something new, and we're quite up for that idea. So when we get back to Britain in about end of March, early April, we're going to go into the studio and do some demos and hopefully start recording and get an album out by about September, as soon as possible.
It must be very satisfying to be able to look back and see that you've been in a band that sort of carved out a place in music history. How does that make you feel?
Well, you always feel like they're talking about somebody else, you know. I mean, it's not really the thing, because when the four of us in a room, we don't think that we're...
Well, they're not talking about somebody else. They're talking about you.
Well,
who do you think are the bands you've influenced? Have you seen...
Who do we think?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's loads and loads.
Lots of them, apparently, yeah.
I saw people tell us, and I saw the bands themselves there.
Well, the Fine Young Cannibals did a version of one of your songs,
Yeah.
Ever Fallen in Love. What did you think of that, their version?
I mean, I thought it was good because it sounded like the Fine Young Cannibals, you know, like Buzzcocks, which is a good thing when a band covers another band's song. I mean, usually when people ask me that, it means that they don't like it because they think that the Buzzcocks version was sacred, you know, and cannot be touched. A song's meant to be sung, you know. I mean, I'd rather hear somebody walking down the street singing one of my songs badly than not hear it sung at all.